Great to welcome you to New York City, and it's also great to welcome you to this absolutely beautiful club, the University Club. So thank you so much for taking out the time. We are very honored here today to have so many heads of state with us representing their countries from Africa. First, we have President Ramaphosa of South Africa. We've got President Boko of Botswana, President Chapo of Mozambique, Prime Minister Brown of Antigua and Barbuda, and also we have Chairperson Youssef of the African Union Commission. So we're going to be hearing from them in a few minutes. I have spent a lot of time in South Africa, Botswana, and Mozambique. I have yet to go to Antigua and Barbuda, but I think I deserve it after this. We also have some head of delegations with us as well. We have the Minister of Foreign Affairs from Zambia. We have the Minister of Foreign Affairs from Rwanda. We have the Senior Presidential Advisor from the Republic of Namibia. We have the Minister of Development and Planning from Gabon. And we have the Minister of Environment from Angola, who I just ran into. We also have with us, we're very honored to have with us the Mayor of New York, Mayor Adams. So thank you so much. So tonight we're here to affirm our commitment collectively and individually to the common vision of conservation in Africa through the African Keystone Protected Area Partnership, which is to permanently safeguard 162 national parks around Africa through collaboration amongst African leaders, NGOs, communities, and philanthropic leaders. So I think I kept it to 1 minute, or about 1 minute and a half. We'll encourage people to keep their remarks short. So please now welcome a very good friend of mine, the CEO of African Wildlife Foundation, Kadu Sabunya.
Thank you very much, John. Please allow me to write on John's established protocol. All protocol observed. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's a privilege to stand with you this evening as Africa takes its place not as margins of the global dialogue, but at its center. Tonight is not only about protected areas, as it may sound. It's about Africa's future, the role and the choice to play in shaping the future of this world. As we all are aware, Africa is home to extraordinary nature and natural wealth. Africa's wealth is above the ground. 1/4 of the world's mammal species, 1/5 of the birds, tens of thousands of plants, and the last great population of elephants, great apes, cats, and keystone species. These species and their habitats are not only icons of our identity, they are natural capital of our economies. And society rests on that. The habitats of these animals safeguard the very water that supplies our cities, sustain climate, provide ecological foundation, and our economic development. They are our economic infrastructure, but they are our sovereign assets. Without them, Africa's economic ambition, Agenda 2063, risks stalling or failing. This is why the African Keystone Protected Area Partnership matters to all of us in this room. Among 8,000 protected areas, 162 stand out. They cover just 5% of Africa's land mass, but hold 71% of our threatened species and provide nearly half of the continental water to our cities. These 162 protected areas give us focus. They are places where investments can unlock stability, where effective management can generate employment to our young citizens, and where wealthy and healthy ecosystems can shield people from shocks of climate. The Keystone Partnership we are discussing today is not another plan on paper. It's practical way to secure the ecological foundation of Africa's Development Agenda 2063. Your Excellencies, the support of institutions such as Rob Walton Foundation demonstrates what is possible when external investments strengthens rather than substitutes African leadership. The Africa Keystone Protected Area Partnership gives our continent a vehicle to do just that, to coordinate, to show results, to make clear that conservation in Africa is not an isolated cause, but is central to the continent's development and by extension to the global stability. Thank you, Your Excellencies. Thank you, John.
Thank you, thank you. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Rob Walton. Mr. Walton.
Thank you, John. Excellencies, guests, Kadu, thank you for those remarks. And so great your leadership for this protected area, Keystone Protected Area Partnership. Duco Hopman and I have been working on this for some period of time with lots of support. It's really an amazing opportunity, I think, for us all to support governments in Africa, NGOs, and local people in maintaining these most important areas. You've heard how important they are to the neighborhoods. People need nature to survive. Nature doesn't need us, and we know that, but these areas have to benefit the people living around them in order for them to be successful. And our objective is to focus on both communities and these areas. Biodiversity. It's a lot of discipline into culling 8,500 protected areas down to 162, but I think that they're very special and very worth the focus. It's my primary focus from a philanthropic standpoint, and we are committed to supporting you, gentlemen and excellencies, and many of you who work in these areas and support this work. But thank you for your leadership. John, thank you, and Kadu, thank you very much. We look forward to working with you all.
Thank you, Rob. We are pleased tonight to have two members of the U.S. Congress with us, Senator Chris Coons and Representative August Pfluger, who will introduce our honored guests. So, Senator Coons, would you like to join me on stage here?
Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. And thank you for this inspiring celebration of joint partnership, of investment, of the fruition of years of planning and work. To Rob Walton, thank you for your leadership, for your deep investment in partnership. To John, to Kadu, to everybody who helps make this partnership possible and gives it life, thank you. It is my honor to introduce the first of several heads of state who will be giving brief remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, is someone who has presided over a nation that is making real the legacy of Nelson Mandela in his commitment to conservation, in the sustainment and development of transfrontier parks. He will soon host the most important conference in the world in November with the G20. Not that UNGA isn't the most important conference in the world. His leadership, his commitment to peace, his deep heart for service, and his passion for conservation deserve a rousing round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa.
Program Director, Your Excellencies present here, and Senator Coons, a very dear and good friend, and distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, it's really a great privilege to join you this evening. I did not know that I would be seeing such a galaxy of people gathered here who are interested in protected areas, particularly on our continent. And we wish to commend the International Conservation Caucus Foundation and particularly the Rob Walton Foundation and African Wildlife Foundation for their dedication to conservation in Africa. I spent just a few minutes talking to Mr. Walton and am deeply impressed with the commitment and the focus that you have shown, Mr. Walton, to wildlife conservation on the African continent. And you and I spoke at length about the area or the organization that we have been associated with, me having sat on the board of African Parks, and you continuing to work with them. I was deeply, deeply moved by your focus and your commitment in that regard. We also welcome the bipartisan support from the United States senators and congresspeople present here. Nature knows no political barriers, and we are united in a shared commitment to preserve nature for present and future generations. Nature is an intrinsic part of our cultural as well as social identity as Africans, and indeed as all of us as human beings. It is vital to human well-being as well as to human development and progress. South Africa therefore welcomes support from our friends in the United States in the endeavor to preserve our natural heritage. The 162 areas in Africa that are suggested for additional protection have been identified, particularly based on their irreplaceability, connectivity, ecological integrity, and resilience. Some of these areas are already supported by African Parks. However, all have funding and resource gaps. These are gaps that need to be filled. We have therefore come here to listen to the proposals on the African Keystone Partnership and to say that we are keen to further the dialogue that we should have. I therefore invite the champions of this initiative to have in-depth follow-up discussions with our various and relevant department agencies. This is important work that we can all do. As African countries, we have much to share with our international partners, and I want to commend you here in the United States for retaining an interest in this wonderful heritage that we as Africans have. As South Africa, we have had a proud reputation as a leader in sustainable and responsible nature conservation, as is our duty as one of the world's mega biodiverse countries. But we are also very proud to have as our neighbors countries, important countries like Botswana and Mozambique, who cooperate and work with us in this whole endeavor of protecting our natural resources, particularly the conservation area. Over the past 25 years, in the Southern African region, we have undertaken a remarkable journey and witnessed the many achievements of our Transfrontier Conservation Area programs. These wildlife areas had been established across national borders, have a transformative impact on conservation. The idea behind these transfrontier parks is bold yet simple. Nature knows no borders. The transfrontier conservation areas serve as critical ecological corridors, enabling the free movement of wildlife and preserving biodiversity across borders. Now, these areas have unlocked sustainable tourism opportunities, but much more than that, they help to support the communities in the areas of our various countries. Investments in conservation economies have created jobs, have improved livelihoods, but more importantly, have also empowered local communities to become stewards and guarantors of their natural heritage. Now, these parks succeed when they are led by Africans and benefit the people who live near those parks. Such parks symbolize unity. They also symbolize cooperation and shared responsibility amongst our nations. And we have seen this being played out amongst our neighboring countries, as I said, Botswana, Mozambique, and Namibia. I am confident that the 162 parks identified for support through the Africa Keystone Partnership will serve the same noble purpose. And I'd like us to continue to champion this model of conservation, this model of integration and development for the benefit of our people. And by our people, I include not only those who live on the African continent, but people who live elsewhere, because nature should be a global area of interest for all of us. So thank you very much for being here and for supporting the work that we do. Thank you.